The Democrat Party is in huge trouble, and it's not coming from the outside, and it's not because they're going to lose a whole bunch of elections during the general election. No, they're in huge trouble because the Democratic Socialists of America are winning the primaries. They're going to win so many primaries. This is why I've said before, and I'll say it again, the getting Spencer Pratt out of the way, and people are saying, oh, they just wanted to make sure it was Democrat on Democrat, and they didn't want to risk Spencer Pratt winning. They weren't concerned about that. This is Los Angeles, okay? If they really just wanted a Democrat to win, they would have just let Karen Bass win. They wouldn't have wasted all of the voter fraud equity that they used to get Nithya Raman in there. This wasn't about getting a Democrat. This is about getting Nithya Raman in there. She is, and I will say this with a 99% certainty, okay? And I never say that. But I will tell you, mark the day when you hear this, you will, and call me out on it in November if I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. Nithya Raman is going to defeat Karen Bass in November. They're going to make certain that she does. Getting Spencer Pratt out of the way wasn't about defending Democrats or defending Karen Bass. It was about making Nithya Raman, this Democratic Socialist of America, this Zohran Mamdani of the West Coast, making her the mayor of L.A., just like they did with Katie Wilson, just like they're doing with every primary election where they have control. Now, keep in mind, the reason that they're not even running DSA members in areas where they have to, where the general election is up for grabs, right? They're only going after the bluest areas. It's not just because they have a better chance of being more popular there. It's because if they can get the primary, then it doesn't matter, okay? There's no chance that Curtis Sliwa was going to win in New York City, even if Andrew Cuomo got out of the way. Zohran Mamdani had been anointed, okay? He didn't have to defend his ideology. He just had to smile because it's New York City. Because it's New York City. That's why, again, if it was just about getting, making sure that a Democrat wins in LA, they would have just kept it. Yeah, they could cheat their way into defeating Spencer Pratt. I mean, it's 19% of Los Angeles is Democrat. So they were scared of Spencer Pratt? No, they weren't scared of Spencer Pratt. Not in massive voter fraud zones like Los Angeles. No, if they wanted to win, they would have won. They would have won. Karen Bass would have beaten Spencer Pratt. This was about pushing Nithya Raman up, and that is the goal. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, I guess I understand the reason, but we're blind to it. The Democrats, they're scrambling. They're like, "What the hell is going on?" Okay, and I'm talking about the mainstream Democrats. They're like, "Okay, okay, I guess this is what we're doing now." Whereas the Republicans are sort of like, oh, I don't know. I don't think that the American people aren't ready for this. Really? I want you to listen to both of these statements. The first one by Democrat Socialist of America in Pennsylvania, Chris Rabb. He's already won his primary. He is going to be in the United States Congress. Guaranteed, done deal. Deep Blue District, he's in. So he's up there helping the DSA and helping his fellow DSA members win their primaries in New York. But I also want you to listen to Guy Benson, who is stuck in this delusion that, oh, no way that America could fall for this.
He was campaigning in New York City yesterday. Here's what he says they have in mind for the big picture.
It's a long laundry list, my man. I mean, we're talking about fighting fascism. We're talking about refashioning an entire society. We're talking about holding our own party to account. We're talking about changing the very nature of the culture of Congress and what we allow them to do and what we insist on them doing in ways that have not really happened in generations.
You know what's interesting to me about that, guy, is that it's not just an anti-Trump screed that you might get from some establishment Democrats. They actually have a vision. I might disagree with it, but they have one, and they're trying to lay it out.
That's true, although the line that jumped out to me in that soundbite was, we want to refashion all of society.
Right.
That is the language of radicalism, because these are radicals. And I'm not sure if the American public, even in a blue year, are fully on board for that, excuse me, that level of extremism.
So I'm going to address Guy Benson first. And there's two things to take away. Number one, he's wrong about the American people not accepting that level of extremism. We've already seen it. They're willing to, mostly out of ignorance. This is why they're not going after competitive districts. They're going after deep blue districts because they know that all they've got to do is win the primary. They don't even have to campaign. I mean, he's in the middle of a congressional campaign. He's up in New York helping his buddies. Okay, this Chris Rabb guy, he's already in. He is going to be a member of the United States Congress with his vision of refashioning all of society. Because again, this is their strategy. I hate to say it, but it's a beautiful strategy. But the other part that he misses, Benson, the other part that he misses is that people are going to even know or care. They're not. It's not just Democrats, the Republicans aren't going to know or care. This is, the biggest threat, and I've said this multiple times on my show, the biggest threat to the United States of America is the Red-Green Alliance. We've seen the green side of this Red-Green Alliance rising across the nation. We've seen it take over Europe. As a result of the red side, the Marxist side, they're already, Europe is captured. Europe, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not saying that we need to give up. We got to pray, but by golly, I can't see a way out. I just don't think they have the stomach for it. We, on the other hand, we're in the early stages. We need to stop it. And it stops with this election. Unfortunately, how do we stop people like Chris Rabb? How do we stop people like Zohran Mamdani, who all they've got to do is win the primary, which we have no say in? We can't stop them. We can't say, hey, Democrats, you're stupid. Wake up. You're falling for the dumbest thing ever. I mean, these are the people that still believe that Joe Biden got 81 million votes. How are we supposed to get through to them? We can't. So this comes back down to, oh crap, well then what in the world can we do? Because there's only two ways that are feasible, and neither of them are very, very easy. Neither of them are easy at all, as a matter of fact. Number one, we beat them in the general elections. Which, again, if we're going head-to-head, I will say this about what Benson said. Is America ready? No. This is why I am growing a bit more confident that Susan Collins can win in Maine. Not that I hate rooting for Susan Collins. It gnaws at me. I'm growing more confident that she's going to win. I'm growing more confident that James Tallarico is going to lose, that Ken Paxton is going to beat him in Texas. Because again, we're talking about competitive areas, and we could put our ideology up against theirs, and we can expose them, and it's going to make a difference. They were exposing Zohran Mamdani and Katie Wilson, and they'll be exposing Nithya Raman all day. It's not going to make a difference. Chris Rabb, he's openly saying it. He's like, yeah, we want to completely refurbish, refashion, redistribute America, the whole of society. You can say that because, again, in his district, it doesn't matter. So option one, we still try to beat him, and that's tough. Try to get the Curtis Silwas of the world to somehow get in there and win. That's tough. That's really tough. Number two, we go after scandal. I mean, surely there's dirt on these people. I mean, the Oppo research potential here, it has to be grand. There's got to be a recording of them saying, "Death to America," or something. But the problem there, as we're learning in Maine, is that might not even matter either. I mean, this guy is a literal, Graham Plattner, he's a literal Nazi, okay? He has accusations of abuse against women, crazy things that he's talking about with porta potties and pleasuring. I mean, it's. I guess what I'm getting at is there might not be a scandal big enough to stop these people. There might not be. So we can and must, of course, as always, pray hard. And I'm being earnest here. I'm not just saying, oh, yeah, say a prayer for America. No, I'm saying like get on your knees and pray that the Lord will prevent these people from winning, from taking over the United States. Because here's the thing, and let's not glaze over this. Their notion of refashioning all of society, it is, as Dana Perino said, I mean, this is their true belief. They actually have not only a desire, but a plan to do it. Now, their plan, unfortunately for us, is to completely destroy the United States of America. Now, many of them, a lot of them, these true believers in the Marxist cause, a lot of them think we have to take down the entirety of society, and then we can build it back up. Now, that's a naive statement, because there is definitely zero guarantee. I would say there's a very small chance that if they were to accomplish their goal, step one, destroy America, step two, of rebuilding America in their Marxist image, that's almost impossible. I mean, destroying America, it's not something that can easily be built back up. We've got 250 years of history, and it's not, I mean, I don't know if they're deluded or if they just don't care, probably a combination of the two. But that is their plan. Their plan is to destroy America, to take down capitalism. Now, again, I want to be clear. They might not even understand. Okay, there might be this super strong delusion going over them that prevents them from even being able to comprehend what it is that they're saying that they want to do. Like, they think idealistically, they think philosophically, they don't necessarily think realistically, and that's obviously a trait of a Marxist, to deny reality and to pretend like kumbaya is going to fix everything. It won't. They don't apparently know that. And so they're going to push forward. This is a tremendous threat to the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is being taken over bit by bit. Once they are able to get enough of the party itself replaced, then they're going to work on being more bold, going after areas that, or I should say elections, districts, where they are going to have to compete against strong Republicans in districts that aren't necessarily deep blue. And they're going to have to put their record forward. This is why they're starting with this batch. And this isn't new. Keep in mind, you can take it all the way back to the Justice Democrats and Cenk Uygur and Saikat Chakrabarty sitting there, interviewing this bartender from Brooklyn and saying, oh, yeah, I think she's the one. And she was. I mean, they picked her out. And you can say what you will about AOC. She's got challenges, obviously, but she's a winner. She was the first one to really just take a true mainstream incumbent, solid Democrat who should have been in no risk of losing, and they beat him. They beat him with ideology. They beat him with excitement. They beat him with the concepts of fresh blood, new face. Get rid of the old corrupt Democrat Party. Let's get in the new blood. That's that playbook. They've been trying. They failed, actually, pretty badly over the last few years. Not because the strategy was wrong, but because they were picking the wrong candidates. This year, with President Trump in the White House, with Republican majorities, with a Democrat Party that is desperate, so desperate that they're getting themselves arrested over a reflection pool. That's how demented they are. So desperate that they're getting themselves killed by trying to defend criminal illegal aliens. I mean, they're lost because of Donald Trump. And as a result, they're vulnerable to the Democratic Socialists of America. So Democrats are in trouble, but so are we. So is America. I don't know how to stop it. I'm not saying it can't be stopped. We're going to have to sort of, something I want to be clear, something I don't know how to stop it. It's that we got to wait until we're a little bit closer to the elections. We got to see how this pans out. What happens in New York, what happens in other elections, other primaries. And then we have to come up with a strong, cohesive, intelligent plan to inform everyone, not just Republicans, not just independents, but also Democrats about the dangers that are being posed. This is an opportunity for us, folks. Okay, this is a true opportunity that we have presented before us. An opportunity for, if they're saying, okay, well, we're ready to go hit up all these deep blue districts and try to win all these primaries. Okay, well, before they even get to expansion, let's try to nip it in the bud. Let's try to take on their ideology, expose their ideology, and then smack them in the face with an unprecedented, unbelievable Republican victory in some blue district. We only need one. I mean, ideally we could get them all, but that's unrealistic. But we only really need one to get them to at least pump the brakes. To say, ooh, we went super radical over here and we lost a deep blue district. Democrat establishment, the uniparty swamp version, they're over here saying, hey, see? I would say that it's scary, but it's not. This isn't scary. If you've read your Bible, you've read the book, you know how all of this ends. Are we going to go through crazy times? You betcha. I think we're right in the middle of them already. That doesn't mean we need to fret. We do need to pray. Pray like Daniel. Pray for our nation. Pray for our people. And do so in a way that ignores, nothing against Guy Benson, but this whole notion that the people aren't ready. The people, I hate to say it, but it's true. Vast majority of Americans are sheep. They do what they're told. They politically speaking, I'm not talking about in real life, and it's not just Democrats, it's Republicans as well. Go along to get along. This is why the radical fringes on both sides are starting to have a little bit of an impact, because we are in the midst of basically ever since COVID, we've been in this long struggle, and people are looking for fresh blood. They're looking for new talent, new faces on both sides. Unfortunately for the Republicans, we're not presenting them with a whole lot of good ones. And for the Democrats, they're presenting them with evil, destructive, horrible ones. So the future doesn't necessarily look super bright. But again, no need to fret. I think we'll make it through. And if we don't, we don't. If things go really, really south, so be it. That is the fate of America. We just got to fight it. Fight the good fight it with everything we've got. Because if and when the Democrats, Socialists, and the political Islamists are able to get their way and get their people in, and I would say slowly, but it's not going to happen slowly, rapidly start taking over portions of the United States of America, as they're in the process of doing, then yes, a lot of Americans are going to suffer. At some point, potentially, all Americans are going to suffer. It's incumbent upon me and you and patriots across the nation to try to stop that from ever happening.
This is your wake-up call, pal.